Do you know what the real name of the Walking Dead zombie virus is? Did you know that there's a real name that has already been mentioned in the show? And do you know what the origin of this name and who created this name that has already been mentioned by the creator of the show himself, and that this may have some connection with the way this is spread in the world? You know, this virus, which we still don't have the exact proof about all this, but these clues can help us imagine and explain more. Those lost details of the Walking Dead that many people didn't notice or don't remember. Do you want to understand it? So stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel. My name is João Victor and I'm back to talk about the Walking Dead universe again. Yeah, I talked a lot about The Last of Us recently, but let's go back to the Walking Dead because we have many other points to explain, especially about this virus, these zombies. There's years since this universe started, almost like 15 years, but nowadays we still can find some new things that many people don't know or don't remember, and it's very important to understand mostly about the origin of everything. Let's explain everything, but first don't forget to check the like in this video. It helps me a lot in the promotion, and also if you like more contents about The Walking Dead and many other universe, movies and TV shows, don't forget to subscribe in this channel. Yeah, let's go. Let's talk about zombies again. Yeah, if you've watched the channel here, mostly recently, in a certain frequency, at least for some time, you've seen that I made several videos about some of these mysteries of the show, including trying to unreveal the origin of it based on the post-credits of The World Beyond, the spin-off, and also based on the beginning of The Walking Dead, the scenes about CDC and the Dr. Edwin Jenner, the scientist. We keep saying virus because it's the most easy way to say it, but we don't know if it's a virus, if it's a bacteria, if it's a fungus, like The Last of Us there, if it's something else. Even when there is a scientist who is rare to appear in The Walking Dead, but when they appear, they don't refer to what we have in The Walking Dead, the infection, as a virus, although it's the most likely thing. It's most likely that it's a virus. But then comes the question, what's the real name of the virus? Is there a name? It's common for us to say zombie virus, yeah, when we refer to this. Or if you don't want to say virus, you can say zombie infection, yeah, that's how we refer to this normally. But if you don't know, there's an official name on The Walking Dead that's already been given to this disease, to this infection. I know that many people who are watching this here may even know, may even remember, may even be imagining it. Probably some people are thinking, oh no, you won't tell me any news in this video. But I have to say, a lot of people also don't know, but then we get to the point, because it's not just the name, it has a meaning behind it and who created it too. That's the point many people forget. And yeah, let's go back to the classic, episode 5 of the first season of The Walking Dead. The first time we see a scientist in this universe of The Walking Dead, the famous Dr. Edwin Jenner, who we talked a lot about what he said, a lot of videos I made about him, including his first appearance has that famous line that it has been 2 months that the disease has become global, but it had been 194 days since this anomaly was discovered. Several months before it became global, scientists discovered it first.
And 63 days since the disease abruptly went global.
But it is in this line that he's the first person to mention the name of the zombie virus from The Walking Dead, which is wildfire.
It's day 194 since wildfire was declared.
Yeah, he says there's 194 days since the wildfire start. And there's an important point. He doesn't say wildfire virus. He only says wildfire. Yeah, and another point of this scene is that when Jenner's recording ends, we have this recording end screen, the official CDC screen, which up there you can see the code of this video, which is the code has writing wildfire active. Yeah, actually we can see this code in the beginning and also in the end of this transmission, proving that it was an official scientific name for this, which the CDC itself used in the data and files. Another point is that the name of the episode itself, which is the first that Jenner appears, the first that has the CDC citation, is Wildfire. Episode 5 of the first season has that name, and that's it. I know a lot of people must have remembered it even before I spoke, but the point a lot of people also forgot is that after that on The Walking Dead there was no mention about this name. There is no longer any moment that we see the coat of wildfire of that name. I also don't remember anyone mentioning it in Fear the Walking Dead, this first spin-off. The main point is that they were only going to mention wildfire when they showed scientists. And what was the other moment after the first season of The Walking Dead that showed any scientist who has connection to to the beginning of this outbreak. The moment is the post-credit scene of The Walking Dead World Beyond. And also before that, in the last scenes of the show, even Dr. Ellis, he appears there, which I've already mentioned recently here. He's very important for the beginning of everything. In none of these scenes we have a mention about this name, Wildfire. They don't have the opportunity to say the name of this thing. That's precisely why people forget the name. But like, here we could end the video because I've already said the name. That's the name. But the video is not just about the name, the revelation of the name. I need to say what's behind the name because the creator, Robert Kirkman himself, has already given an interview in the past talking about it. But first, there's a curiosity. A great point is that most of the characters who have been through The Walking Dead, they are still alive today in the spin-offs. There are some of those who are still alive, they don't know the name, never heard what the real name is, because they just didn't have time to hear about it. It is a name that circulated more in the scientific community. So the only one I can imagine who is still alive in the Walking Dead universe and should perhaps know the name Wildfire could be Eugene. Yeah, because in the beginning he lies that he worked with Dr. Ellis, and in World Beyond we have proof that Dr. Ellis really existed. The Human Genome Project really existed. Eugene's lie is only that he worked with it when he didn't, but for him to know this, he needs to have studied. So sometimes in the early days of Eugene's apocalypse, he heard about it, he went after scientific questions, and sometimes about Wildfire. There are even theories that Eugene may be hiding something big in the Walking Dead universe to this day, which maybe in the future he will reveal, but I don't know. Only anyway, let's talk about the meaning of the name of this zombie infection from The Walking Dead, Wildfire. We have the meaning of the name, the forest on fire, and if you think fast, it will be something like a fire that spreads fast, this virus. Then you can start reasoning. If you've never stopped to think about the meaning of this name, you're already starting to imagine the relationship with what this infection really is. It is Dr. Jenner at the beginning of The Walking Dead who tells Rick that all the people in the world are infected, not just those who have been bitten or whatever. All the living are infected, and to this day in the story the same thing applies. Like around 4 months before the disease became global, scientists discovered this, but this disease had not yet spread to everyone at once. Most likely the first discovery may have been in France, based on what is said in the post-credit of World Beyond, that they discovered this and went to study it further. At this point, one or another human specimen that some test subject presented this anomaly and attacked them, but what we can consider is that after that it mutated to become a wildfire, to literally contaminate the whole of humanity at once. The biggest proposal, the biggest idea of how this contaminated the whole world is through air. This is almost confirmed to be over the air, the only possibility, therefore reasonable. But then everything I'm talking about here is what we can imagine, like theorizing about this world, because the creator said something about it. So what's official about it? Well, Robert Kirkman, who's the original creator of the comics, the original story of The Walking Dead, who was involved in the decisions of the show in the first seasons there too, he who had the main decisions, in a Comic-Con that he participated there in 2014, he gave an interview in which he first said that he regretted having told about the CDC in the show. Because in case you didn't know, the original work of The Walking Dead, which is the comics, we don't have CDC. At the moment they are in Atlanta, then they end up in the Herschel's farm. In the middle of the way, there is no appearance of the Center of Disease Control. They don't go there. Dr. Jenner and all these things, this is all exclusive creation of the show. And Kirkman himself approved this in the first season, but years later, at this Comic-Con that he attended, he said that he had regretted it because he likes this idea of not being about this scientific part. But taking advantage of that in the interview, he also revealed into the issue of Wildfire, because the name of the episode 5 is Wildfire, the first time the CDC thing appears, and it is the name referring to the virus that is mentioned by Jenner. Kirkman there at the time revealed that the name Wildfire has to do with the way virus actually spread. Words from the creator himself, and that would be Jenner himself and probably other scientists who ended up creating this name, which makes total sense. So yeah, here you can understand what the name of this zombie infection is, which is Wildfire, the origin of this, and this is related to the origin of the zombies, and now you can theorize many things. But also in the interview itself, Robert Kirkman said that he regretted putting the CDC in the show. Then after that, there were theories that the one who could have created the name Wildfire was Jenner's wife, that apparently she was the real scientist who worked worked at the CDC. Jenner was more like an assistant, but at the same time this seems to have to do with the connection that the scientists had by video, by messages they sent. At the beginning of The Walking Dead, Jenner only says that the last ones left were the French, but he doesn't talk about the contact with them, what it was like. But in the post-credits of World Beyond, which came out in 2021, when the spin-off ended, when the scientist there in France, she can access the hard drive, which has the video of Jenner talking to the scientific community. There we were able to understand. They communicated by video, one sending video by another about contacts. At that time, including this video by Jenner, he becomes curious about the issue of variants, that he couldn't realize any of this yet. It was news to him. The zombie variants that we see in The Walking Dead more at the beginning and more at the end of the show. Well, that's the name, and it's linked to the way it spread everything at once in the world. That's why the name is Wildfire. But okay, we still have the question. How did this spread? The theories are that these scientists who had access to this laboratory ended up leaking it somehow. Let it sleep, or it was something criminal, someone on purpose made it evolve. I believe more that it was something that mutated. There was a mutation. Because I don't think anyone would be stupid enough to just say, oh no, I'm going to work on this virus here to evolve it and it ends the world and spread it through the air. Like, the guy has to be really dumb, because that means he's going to end his life too. I think it was more that it was a mutation that the virus itself made because of some irresponsibility of the scientists, something ambitious that they wanted to do. Even the post-credit scene of World Beyond, when the soldier is interrogating the scientist there before killing her, it's something like this that you can understand that it was their fault. He mentions that they made it evolve, something like that. And so you can see that although The Walking Dead is almost 15 years old, having this much spin-offs and very few scenes involving scientific issues, even with this, we still have a lot of information to this day. That's why they take so long to talk about something scientific in this universe, because they know that the smallest scene they release, the crowd will be able to discover a lot of things. There will be a lot of revelation. Like the post-credit scenes of World Beyond came out in 2021, and to this day, it's the best post-credit scenes that exist on The Walking Dead, the most revealing, the most important, which we use as a basis for a lot of videos, a lot of explanations. There's a lot of revelations there, and the future promises to reveal even more. It's been a few years since this came out. The pressure for the spin-offs to come together, the stories to increase and grow more is there. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news about this series, any news about the spin-offs. I've always said that this year, San Diego Comic-Con in July, there may be some revelation. I'm going to cover everything here. Don't forget to check the like in this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for your patience with my English. I'm keep trying to practice and improve it. I'll be back soon, and bye.